Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2021 Summer Summit for our real estate and construction vertical. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to our Smart Cities program management team, who have worked tirelessly to put this event together. Real estate and construction has always been one of the largest industry anywhere in the world. But the startup scene in this industry has been a little lacking comparing to the other industry peers. This, however, has been changing over the past few years as more and more VCs and startups are entering into the field. So let's take a look at what has been going on in the real estate and construction venture space over the past few years. Let's first start with construction. We have observed continued growth in venture investment in this space since 2013 in terms of both deal volume and absolute amount of capital deployed. The market has matured with more late-stage investing, but in the past 2 years, we have seen more investment in the earlier stage opportunities as well. Geographically speaking, the US and Europe dominate this innovation space. The US has been steadily increasing its investment over the past several years, while Europe has taken a large leap after 2018 with no sign of slowing down even during the pandemic. Exit-wise, in this sector, primarily, we have seen merger and acquisition being the primary venue for startup to exit. However, IPO activity is starting to play a small role. Let's now look on the real estate side of the story. Similar to the construction side, the real estate venture space started to grow rapidly since 2015 with the rise of WeWork. The majority of the deal were being made in more mature and late-stage companies, which is consistently with what we have seen in other industries as well, and particularly closer to the pandemic time. Geographically wise, North America and Asia dominated this space, but the Europe region is starting to emerge as a major player over the last few years. Exit in this sector are primarily merger and acquisition as well, with IPO activities playing a relatively small role. Now I will pass the mic to Paula, who will be the MC for this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Jensen, for the insights and cover the latest trends in real estate and construction. And hello, everyone. I am Paula Palermo, and I will be your host for today's session. I'm an architect and economist, really passionate about cities and the sustainable future of our communities, but mostly about people and innovation. I think one thing we all have in common here is the curiosity to see how the built environment is changing the present and will shape the future. And we from Plug and Play are proudly building this path with you. To organize best our digital house, I will comment briefly on how the best features and Attendify work. To check the agenda of today and other days, you can click on the live stream button. Just remember here, our Energy Expo is tomorrow and the Mobility one in the 23rd. It is a great way to have a broader perspectives about smart cities and the work we are all doing. Now, to check the overview of the startups presenting today, and the most important, to connect with team members, you can click on the startup booths, filter by categories or industry, for example, and choose to connect live via Meet Now or send them a message. One of my favorite features is the Meet Now option, which allows us to have video chats with the startups in their booths. Once we have the green video button, the startup should be able to have a short video call with us. And the great thing is that even in different locations, we'll be able to connect. In the community/participants tab, we are able to check all the audience participants' profile and send a private message to attendees. Feel free to talk with the startup founders, our corporate partners, and the plug-and-play staff present here today. And I'm already looking forward for a networking session. Now, we can start with our special panel in which we are proudly sharing the successful story of Kajima, represented by our champion Yuji Doi, and Holobuilder, represented today by the VP of Sales, Anton Marinovich. Our corporate partner Kajima teamed up with our ecosystem startup Holobuilder to use their groundbreaking 360-degree photo documentation solutions, which allowed Kajima to increase visibility throughout the team and make construction management more seamless and efficient. As a note, you'll be able to drop your questions to the chat as we will have a special moment for Q&A. First, we are going to see Anton's presentation sharing the Holobuilder side, and then Kajima point of view from the nice perspective of Yuji. After that, with a fireside chat, we'll be able to share our thoughts and questions with them. Let's welcome Anton to the stage.
Hi, thank you so much for that, Paula. Such a pleasure to be here. So I'll start my presentation now on Holobuilder to give everyone some nice insight of what Holobuilder is and the services that we provide. So as I begin here in my presentation, there is something that I do want to highlight. So Holobuilder, which was founded in 2016 out of Aachen, Germany, but then was relocated here to the United States with the help of the German accelerator. We have recently been acquired as of 2 weeks ago. So a lot of fun, a lot of change has been coming, but this relationship with Faro, which is in the laser scanning space, we find is very exciting for the future of our organization, especially as we combine the synergies of laser scans with 360 documentation. And we feel it is the right step to help further support our great clients like Yuji at Kajima and many others that you see here below. So taking just a very high level view of Holobuilder, if you were to ask me just to kind of sum it up in a sentence, I think one of Yuji's colleagues in Japan said it best, is that Holobuilder allows them to take their entire construction site and put it in their pocket and take it home with them. And what I mean by that is that very early in our growth story, we identified a need in the construction tech sector, especially around photo documentation. And so with the advent of the 360 camera, we found that this was a very easy play for us to move into and start collecting data through these 360 shots, which fundamentally enabled our users to build a Google Street View, if you will, of everything that's happening on site. So they take that data and obviously layer it over time, which gives them a full perspective of progress as it's happening. This has been also revolutionary in the fact of being a cloud-hosted software, being a SaaS-focused organization. The pandemic, as horrible as it has been, has also led to opportunities for Holobuilder, especially around the concepts of remote accessibility. Going back to Kajima's great employee who was saying that he can take the construction site home with him in his pocket. To give you a little high-level overview and how we leverage this is that we have our 360 camera, which we are actually hardware agnostic. So we are not in the hardware space, but we work with all the providers who produce these types of cameras. And then we allow our users with our mobile app, which we call the Job Walk app, to then go through and capture site statuses as they progress. And then through that, the system then uploads these images to the Voyage platform, and then allows people to conduct their analysis and the reviews in the way and the places that they feel fit. But it's probably best said if you wanted to get a real insight into Holobuilder and what we provide and the things that we've done to the market and changed and revolutionized the market as we feel, and got the attention of companies like Faro Technologies to come and acquire us, is that this next slide, I have a short video which gives you an insight from one of our other clients on how they use Holobuilder.
That allows us to use this information in progress meetings and in progress reports. So we're having multiple uses out of this data, and it's really improving our processes. We're capturing about 8,000 images a month. Photographs are taken twice a week. So the data that we have is up to date and it's covering the whole project. That allows us to use this information in progress meetings and in progress reports. So we're having multiple uses out of this data, and it's really improving our processes. We've also been using it to show the images from site to the people who can't attend site. So we've been using it a lot during remote working and social distancing. So it's given access to the guys within ALEC who can log in and view our sites.
And then also for the guys based on the job, I mean, what they do is they'll have meetings in the offices and they talk about various parts of the project. And it's a very powerful tool in terms of being able to pull those images up and discuss those parts of the job meaningfully, because you can see what's actually going on and it's not somebody's recollection. So yeah, it brings a lot of meaning to the meetings because you can look at things in a lot of detail and deal with them.
I think one of the images or one of the functions that really helps is the split screen, where we can easily see the difference and changes in the project from one time to another. This also helps with progress meetings where we can see if works has happened or not happened, and it generally just improves the coordination meetings on site.
Great. Always said best by a client. And with that, I think it's a great transition to pass the mic to our great client and almost at times feels colleague, almost slash partner, UbiQD.
Hi, is the slide on? Okay. So yeah, hi everyone, this is Yuji from Kajima. We are a Japan-based construction company. I'm working as a technology development manager based in the Bay Area. However, I'm now back in Japan for a while. It's pretty early in the morning, but great to be here. It's my honor. So today, what I would like to do is share a case study with our great partner, Holobuilder, rather than going through what Kajima is doing. So yeah, so quick story of Kajima's innovation work first. So we start our journey from 2017, and 1 year later moved into Silicon Valley to work closely with startup companies. Actually, on the day one, we were fortunate to meet Holobuilder team through the intro from Plug and Play. So back in the old days, when I was a project engineer, I was using 360 camera to do photo documentations. A lot of value I saw. However, it was not easy to manipulate. My mind blew when I met Holobuilder because they were already solving my pain while adding so much value. So reverting back to the day we met, I jumped into a trial, documenting my office spaces in the Bay Area and shared the usage with our team. Our discussion continued. And how I see the values, a story about the team, what I would like to have as a new feature, and so on. However, the official usage didn't start in Kajima's project. So what we did was we planned with Holobuilder to visit Japan together and meet our people. So we were in Japan together for a full week, visited many sites, and did bunch of presentations together. Immediately after the visit, the trial quickly happened in the real project, and first 2 project was signed to use. Until now, we added new projects step by step, now using Holobuilder in so many projects. And I cannot count anymore, but the great thing is that the whole team did not just like the Holobuilder product, but also acknowledged the innovation work our team which are involved in. So a couple of takeaways from this engagement. Finding early adopter in the entire team was essential. Once people start using in your organization, the process will be much easier as a follower. Visiting in person created a lot of empathy, and visually seeing the product created the aha moment. After the initial implementation, we did not move on to a mass rollout, since it is important for the people to fully understand what can be done and what cannot. What is the roadmap? What is the potential? And so on. People can easily find the hindsight and point it, creating negative impact. So we kept it grow slowly, making the best practices, doing hands-on one by one. Last but not the least, trust between companies, which we can talk along the chat, was a very most important aspect. So we would like to move on to the chat with Anton. So if I can pull back Anton to the stage, it will be great.
Here we are.
Okay, so Anton, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Yuji.
Yeah. So yeah, would be great to chat with you about our kind of great collaboration. So yeah, I want to first kind of, talk about our travel together to Japan. I think it was a little bit hilarious for you, but yeah, like what was your first reaction when like myself or Kajima asked you to visit Japan together? Because at the time, we were not even a partner. We didn't have any kind of official commitment or like that. So I guess it was like a what moment. So yeah, I wanted to hear what you thought about that. Yeah, if you can talk about that.
Yeah. It was interesting because, typically for the eyes of Holobuilder at that stage of our growth, it's a time commitment. And time is, as any of the startups on this or watching this right now know, is a commodity we have very, 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 very low amounts of. So when Kajima first presented us with this opportunity to come to Japan, obviously, personally speaking, I was jumping up and down and saying, yes, what a great opportunity to get a really wonderful experience. But then as I put my Holobuilder cap on, it was also of like, okay, is this the right decision to make now? And so as we discussed about it internally, and this is with my peers, so both the CEO and our CMO, Christian, and we really reviewed it, the more and more we learned about the Japanese market, we fundamentally understood that if we wanted to make the impact that we wanted to have, we need to understand more. And the only way to get that is really being on the ground. So it was very critical for us at that stage to also communicate internally to investors and so forth that we were taking the chance to make this opportunity happen and very rationally understand what the ROI is and metrics that are understandable and interesting to them to make it happen. But it was a great experience. And I'm happy you asked that question, Yuji, because I'd like to flip it on you now, because it's one thing to ask a startup, hey, come to Japan, but it's another to do the one who's actually doing the asking. It's a really big, I feel like the gamble and risk are even higher on your side because you're really putting your face and your name internally out there at Kajima to make this happen. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. So actually, yeah, it was really still in an early stage for us as the innovation team. So we also was like a startup in the in the NR company. So we were not sure, and also I was also not just internally but also afraid to ask to you, right? Because I also learned a lot that startup is really burning your energy, burning your time, burning your resources time to time, not like a big corporate. So I wasn't sure if this is the right thing to do, but until the time I asked you, so we already had a really like a good communication, good like a relationship. So
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate on that part as so much. I thought you will be honest if you don't feel okay or not. I think you didn't push so much on your end. So that was one thing, and also internally. Yes, that was pretty a pressure for myself. It was a first thing to do. So it was kind of a gamble for us, right? So
Yeah.
we very much, scheduled and very detailed and didn't want to, how can I say, really, even for myself, trying to pull in the, for example, the project that we're going to visit, someone I can trust or, those kind of projects. So it was a very detailed plan. I guess you didn't notice that, but we did in that way and wanted to make very kind of concrete success. So yeah, we did a lot of things up front on that, if that answers the question. So yeah, that was very great thing that we did together. And yeah, I want to also continue a little bit of the question around there. So like, did your understanding of the Japanese construction change after you're visiting the sites in Japan? And like, was there any takeaways, advices you would like to share to work with a company like Kajima in those kind of sense?
Yeah. It's a short answer. Being there just opened my mind so much. I mean, I didn't necessarily touch too much on my background, but for those who are viewing, I grew up in a construction family. Parents, migrated over, and I spent my weekends and summer vacations working on site. And so I had a very firm understanding of, the American way of building. But the Japanese way was something that was so exciting on how thorough everything was done, and the attention to detail on every aspect of it was really mind blowing. For instance, things like the rebar and tying of rebar and so forth, and the documentation that goes into all those bits and parts of the process. But then fundamentally too is, and this holds true for everyone, but in Japan, the level of dedication to excellence and always having the owner and what is important to the owner top of mind and how that's spewed to all levels to every individual on the construction site was fascinating. Everything was very much in line with keeping to the quality of Kajima and the standards that Kajima operates in, but then also doing everything with the focus of what is right for the client. And the levels of communication that go through. That's why we also felt that fundamentally Holobuilder was the right fit, in that it allows that communication flow from the site to the owner in a very transparent, easy way. Takeaways of working. So for those who are viewing, I would say the first and foremost when you're working with a Japanese construction company is patience. The way that things are done here is very transact, move, let's go. In Japan, it's very much about the relationship, and it's very much about putting the right focus in the early stages of that relationship, because that builds the foundation to really grow. So the concept of quick wins, as we may have here in the United States, are things that, well, we have not seen or experienced, at least in this scenario. However, the output of the efforts of cultivating and developing the relationship have paid tenfold. Both, obviously, I'm a sales individual. I love revenue. So, we've been able to grow our exposure of Holobuilder inside of Kajima, but then also most importantly, it's been the intangibles, the feedback flow on all levels from the organization, and fundamentally the development of a really deep partnership where this isn't a client, this is a partner, and we are both doing this together each step of the way. So
got it. So did this actually kind of impaired our relationship? You think in that way?
Okay. Yes, very much. Yeah. I think it's also set the stage for us. Even, we've been able to really develop a very nice relationship off hours where we can discuss and brainstorm through a lot of things, because we've kind of gone through this journey together. It was almost like we finished this MBA program together, and now, the fruits of our labor is kind of taken off. And now we can sit back and also continue to discuss and brainstorm and help develop vision for those now who are helping kind of promote the vision that you and I set together for both of our orgs in that way. It's right. Very dynamic. It's awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But kind of the tough thing for Kajima is, we cannot always do this kind of big kind of promotion, right? Like a trip so like, I feel like, really having this like a product in a good level is a very good starting point. And, because we need at least something tangible to work on with, but also leaving a good space for kind of what we can do from there, right? Because if it is so much solid at the moment, it's like just buying the product, right? But like, I think we were early enough to engage in that point, so that like Holobuilder was very a good listener for us as well. Like, whatever we give the feedback, you guys were very much curious what we are interested in, and what could be potentially fit into the roadmap. Actually, those a lot of things are fitting in, I think, in your product as well after our conversation. So yeah, I think that's kind of a very good. I think I was very much fortunate that also as a timing perspective, not just for the Kajima, but also for the Holobuilder, it worked out very well.
Yes, very much. And in the sales process is really held true where, for those who are selling into the construction sector, digitalization or the disruption of technology in the sector itself is still at an early phase. And so it's very much a bottom-up approach. And that is something that, really hit home for us on that trip too, was that going to every single site and doing the multiple presentations, both to the big groups, to the people actually on a project, and then educating them and empowering them to make the decision if this was something that they wanted to use. Which is different than, your typical SaaS where it's like, oh, I'm selling into the VP of HR. I'm just going to keep on hammering that individual.
Right. Actually, this innovation work is all about empowering rather than implementing, I guess. So we really realized that part, throughout this journey. So, like even though how much great product you have, it's not just there. We have to really change how the users wants to use it, right? So, like this might have a quick win, as well as, it could, possibly change the process of in the future way, like not like a digitalizations or such.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
And then, Yuji, just to ask another quick question of you that might be useful for everyone who's listening is that, what is that typical procedure? And really, how did someone like, you're in Japan, you're working on these massive, projects, and all of a sudden now you've landed yourself here in the Silicon Valley and are the go-to person about, the whole startup construction technology startup scene here in America?
Yeah. So like a typical procedure is really, as I mentioned, like having a quick win. So starting small, if you have already a product, that would be great. But kind of, putting the startup up front to our team, so that at least we can start such kind of discussions or like that. But here again, it's a lot of like a controversy between the patient or the time, or how much the startup can spend the time with us like that. But we at least want to have a short win, small win, and then we kind of use that as a pilot or proof of concept stage. And then once we hit to that stage, we start engaging more with the startup with our team. So that's kind of our way of doing it. And personally, what I am doing here in the Silicon Valley is, I'm the kind of the first contact, and whatever I see interest, I try to share with our team, and decide if we should move on to the pilot or like that. So I know we are kind of running short in time. We want to leave some time for the question, and the last question that I wanted to also ask you is, I want to go back to the trip. So what was your kind of the memorable moment in the trip? Like a little bit more of the fun part, that if you can share. Yeah.
I mean, there is so many, but there's one in particular. We had a lot of a lot of amazing dinners, but one of them stuck out the most, and it was with the particular team that was working on a subway station. And I had read and tried to understand about the dynamics of business dinners in Japan. And it was amazing to have that experience firsthand with the sake pouring and the meal and the discussions and so forth. It was probably on record for me one of the top 5 type of experiences I've had so far in my sales career, and one I'll really cherish forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I also very much remember that moment, and I saw how much you are enjoying. Actually, I think that project was the first user officially from Kajima side, but it was not. It didn't happen because you poured the sake. It was really.
Are you sure? We poured a lot of sake that night.
Also, actually, that was very fun stuff, and it really very much created the relationship. So I guess we're running short in time, so why not I'll bring up the question from the audience. Paula, can you join back here?
Hello, thank you so much, Anton and Yuji, so nice. And let's check if we have any questions from the audience. Please drop in the chat if you want to ask something to them. And in the meantime, I would like to know what were the major challenges that you faced from both sides? I'm curious.
Yeah. Anton, why don't you go?
Yeah. I think for major challenges, it would have been just the cultural differences really on the sales cycle, right? Again, startup, we have investors, we're very aggressively moving towards numbers and targets, and the amount of time commitment required to really develop that relationship. You really need to set the stage internally, and be very transparent to those around you of why this is important. I mean, luckily in the case of Holobuilder, everybody was on board once we really had the discussion going, but sometimes it can be hard because you're always just focusing on, what's the quickest way to drive revenue. Whereas now you had a situation where we can really grow and develop this relationship, but we have to put some front end work into this in the beginning.
Right. Right. So my end, I guess, I think I talk about until the initial usage, but even though we start, seeking for the usage, like what we really had to do was making sure the product, the software, the system works well as a security or the privacy policy. Since we didn't have any kind of work with a startup, like a global, solution. So we did a lot of work around there. I think it took like 30-page, 50-page documents that we created. So, this system will go into this system and like that. So we kind of made it. And also, the photos that we take is not just solely used for Kajima, rather, the sites belongs to the owner side. So we have to make sure that owner is also comfortable for us using the Holobuilder. So, those documents we, reported to the owner and let them, acknowledge what we are doing. So, people might feel weird because we are kind of using some kind of devices shooting on the site. And we also have, very close places with residents or the traffic, so like that. So yeah, those kind of part was a little bit challenging, but yeah. Also, again, the Holobuilder was the upfront, the first runner for us to make us that barrier to go through.
That's so nice to hear. And maybe as we don't have any questions yet, I would like to know what is the future engagement plan for you both?
So, as Anton mentioned, they are already going public, they are acquired. So we are very much happy with that. But I guess, we are still in the journey to, really, to grow more, much bigger. So how can I say, we are not still in an enterprise level as a engagement, but we all, of course, we would like to hit that stage and really officially feel that we are a real partner like that. But there's plenty of things that we still have to work on with. Yeah. How about you, Anton?
Yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to all the great product roadmap discussions that we're going to have with Kajima, because I think that's really going to let the groundwork or set the groundwork. With the acquisition now, it's going to open up a lot of newer and different avenues. So we have the lane that we're in now, but this is also going to open some others along the way. And so it'll be very exciting to test those use cases and see the synergies for both us and Kajima. But fundamentally, in the end of the day, it's just, it's all about the partnership that we have and continuing that partnership going forward. And that all starts with dialogue and trust.
Sounds great.
So what is the best use case you have here for us?
Use case of the product?
Both applications.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a study being out tomorrow. So if we can do a brief comment about what you're going to list would be great.
So we kind of, our innovation, like looking from a different perspective, I guess, our innovation team kind of coming from the civil side, which focusing on the infrastructure project, and we kind of have the a diverse portfolio of the using from the dam project, tunnel project, airport, like that, so on and so forth, and which was kind of not the initial, I think, target for the whole. But of course, we knew that they can serve that, but we kind of bring it from the different perspective. So I think all those worked well. Even though the land is so broad or like that, it worked out very well. So as a use cases, we I feel like we added so much of the new kind of aspect for the Holobuilder. So I'm pretty proud of that. Is that answering your question? I'm sorry.
It is. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
We are launching tomorrow the use case, success case.
Case studies.
Case study about how this partnership went. So be on, and we are going to launch the LinkedIn page, and you can check how it goes. So thank you so much, Yuji and Anton. I think we can start our summit right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After this inspiring conversation, I'm pleased to start our startup presentation with the projects that are part of our Real Estate and Construction Summer 2021 batch. Before closing this event, we want to know who touched the audience hearts. And you help us to check who's the People Choice Award by voting for your favorite startup. How to talk about innovation in real estate and construction without talking about smart infrastructure? Let's start with our first section with the startups that are making our space more intelligent and connected by using technology. Let's kick off our event with PassiveBolt, which is enabling companies to offer keyless service for any hardware. Please welcome Kabir to the stage.
Hello, my name is Kabir Maiga. I am co-founder of PassiveBolt. In the future, we won't have to share keys by passing out physical keys, key fobs, badges. Instead, it would all be done electronically. As a result, companies are currently scrambling to support contactless key sharing experiences. They can be lock manufacturers who make door locks or access control devices, or system integrators who just build experiences by sourcing a portfolio of smart products, such as in the smart home, in the case of home automation. The problem, though, right now that they face building this contactless key sharing experience in-house is that it's typically they would design it around a specific door lock, which makes it not scalable for any time they add a new SKU. It would require further development. Also, each lock has generally an expected type of credential, such as a fingerprint or virtual key fob, in which case it also creates a lack of scalability across different credential types. For every time they add a new lock, they would have to take that into account. This is really just outside of their core competency and core business model. It just creates a massive cost center that requires continuous maintenance and security for them. Our solution is to essentially allow them to use a single API that would support any underlying hardware. They can go from SKU to SKU without ever having to touch the key sharing experience. It would support all credential types, making it highly scalable and cost-effective for our customers. We also take care of the ongoing upgrades, and we actively secure the system so that they can focus on your core competency, refocus on their core competency, and let us take care of the API endpoint for moving keys from one hand to the next. Our market opportunity is $70 billion. We're more in the long-term focus on the SaaS opportunity at $42 billion. Out of the gate, we're focused specifically on a smart home vertical through B2B partnerships, but really we're looking to scale to all verticals to provide our API service to places like car rentals, hospitality, etc. For smart homes specifically, we offer them a white label hardware, which is innovative, won a ton of awards, and has several patents granted. And of course, with the API service, with companies that already have their hardware SKU, we just offer them the API service. We're growing at 4x revenue quarter over quarter. We have seven pilots at the moment, totaling LTV for us would be $2 billion for the hardware and 28 million MRR. And several key partnerships, especially on the distribution side with Home Depot for distributing our hardware product, which has been granted 2 family of patents that cover all key innovative features. A true competitive advantage, though, compared to an in-house solution is really that we're a fraction of the cost. We support digital keys and first to support biometric key sharing. So basically sharing access through face or fingerprints remotely for contact-free experience. And of course, we support all underlying hardware. And for companies such as system integrators that do not make door locks themselves, we also do offer them a white label solution. We've done this before. Our team designed keyless entry that's found now in over 120 million cars globally. And we're at it again from an API point of view across all verticals beyond just the automotive industry. We're currently seeking pilot partners and strategic investors for our upcoming Series A for $5 million, which will allow us to reach 400K API users that generates 20 million ARR. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kabir. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome Habidatum. They are thrilling the way to transform location risk into financial benchmark by enhancing commercial real estate financial models with location risk big data. Alexei, mic to you.
Hello, my name is Alexei Novikov and I represent Habidatum. Habidatum is a platform company that builds metrics out of the big data, numerical or semantic, no matter what. We have a granular grid GeoGrid and time grid, so we can actually put the data into this grid and compare data across the whole globe. And our flagship product here is location risk calculator that actually is focused on measuring risk around the commercial real estate property. And as we know, the value of real estate property is determined mostly by location. So we use real travel time to define the area around location, and we do this specifically to measure the best use, to define the best use, which is the function of the surrounding area. We make it specifically to integrate this data into financial models, and this is operational, not descriptive data. Location risk composition actually is very simple. So we use people activity data, we use business diversity data, and real travel time. We combine this data, and finally we get location risk score on the scale from 1 to 10. 1 is lowest risk, 10 is the highest. The best use is the main product. Then we compare this best use of the location with the current use and find the potential losses. We also look at the trends of the location scores, and we also define the surroundings specifically to analyze competitors. The risk score is a financial indicator that allows you to figure out the money that you can lose if you are in the wrong location. It goes with the dashboard, it goes with the export to the any potential format that you would like to have it, Excel, CSV, and PDF. The main reason we started this is that we wanted to create the bridge between geodata and financial data to help financial sector do financial risk analysis quickly, automatically, and across the whole globe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexei. Now, I think that most of us have experienced it working from home. Coming back to the office must be an important topic for all. Please welcome Eldar from Basking.io, bringing network infrastructure for the planning back to the office action with data-driven decisions.
Hey everyone, my name is Eldar Gizatov. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Basking.io. Basking is a workplace occupancy analytics platform for corporate real estate. And this market is going through a major transformation right now. Because of COVID, everyone realized that work from home works. And now all the ecosystem players, from landlords to advisors to software vendors, are looking for occupancy data to help their customers and users. And our team at Basking has figured out a way how to use the existing network infrastructure in the buildings to provide this kind of insights to our customers. And so there are two types of challenges we're helping to solve for our customers. The short term is about planning back to office measures and having the system for safety compliance in place for employees to feel safe about getting back to office, but also for executives to make data-driven decisions. And then longer term, it's about meeting the requirements from employees to achieve more flexibility in the way they use office space, and also using this as an opportunity for right-sizing their portfolio and achieving the cost savings that the CFOs are looking for. And there are two parts to our product. One part is the web application for corporate real estate users to see the real-time status of the buildings and also see the insights and opportunities for optimization for cost savings. And then the other part is the data feed that we provide to our partners, app developers, providing more functionality for end users, for employees around desk booking, room booking, etc. So our solution is based on the network as a sensor approach, and this allows us to be very fast to deploy. So in less than 2 hours, we can connect to multiple buildings at once. We're also cost effective at scale because we don't need to install any additional hardware. We don't need to maintain this hardware. We can deliver top ROI to our customers. And this approach also allows us to be protective of the employee's privacy. So we're compliant by design, with key regulations like GDPR. So our data enables companies, our customers, to understand the size of the real estate opportunity and also prioritize deployment and measures to achieve the cost savings by focusing on specific locations, expensive and underutilized offices to get the biggest cost savings opportunities quickly. So with this approach, we're already working globally with some of the top occupiers and landlords in the US, Canada, Latin America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. We're also partnering with companies like Colliers International, Cisco Systems, HP Aruba, Siemens, E.ON, and Westcon Comstor to deliver this value to the customers. And so if you're looking for a partner to provide this kind of offering through a company like Basking, or you're on the market yourself for occupancy analytics solutions, please get in touch. Happy to help and start this conversation. Thank you.
Really interesting. Thank you so much, Elder. Now, how complicated it can be sometimes to receive our packets at the right time at home. One key access is providing a breaking-through delivery solution for apartment buildings and parcel lockers. Chanel, I will pass it to you.
Hi, I'm Chanel, and I'm the founder and CEO at One Key Access. At One Key Access, we're creating the contextual access control category, starting with providing access for courier deliveries to apartments. We're starting with deliveries to apartments as the team and I have collectively over 45 years experience working for Australia Post. The team and I have got domain expertise in last mile delivery innovation, corporate finance, and also integration. And most importantly, we've worked really well together. So working at Australia Post, we learnt that most deliveries to apartments have failed and need to be redirected to an alternative delivery point. Of those deliveries that are made into the apartment foyer and left there, many of them are stolen. So we created One Key Access, which is an access control platform that provides an interface to a world of couriers to enable frictionless 24/7 deliveries. What this means on a very practical level is that we onboard couriers to our platform and provide delivery drivers with a universal digital key that becomes their One Key Access master key that will enable them to enter any building that's One Key Access enabled on their delivery route during their delivery time. We're device agnostic and courier agnostic, so we'll integrate with any building access management system, smart lock or parcel locker, and we're essentially the middleware that sits between couriers and the smart home delivery ecosystem. So we're first to market and we've already got adoption on both sides of the platform. We sign up courier customers, property developers, and also third-party parcel locker brands. And we've already got traction, and we can already service over 80% of B2C deliveries within Australia, and we've already got our first building as well. So there are over 340,000 apartment buildings in Australia, and a 10% market share of that is 34,000 apartment buildings. We do see One Key Access as being a global solution, and there are larger opportunities in other markets such as the US, who's got 2.85 million apartment buildings. One Key Access is projected to enter Japan, Singapore, the US, and Canada within the first 5 years. We have a variety of payment models that we charge the building to pay depending on whether there's an existing parcel locker there or whether we're supplying our own turnkey low-cost solution that addresses a gap in the market. We're projected to break even at 5,000 buildings in 2024 and projected to turn over 100 million in recurring revenue in year 5. We're about to open our seed round and we're raising between 1.5 to 2 million US dollars. That will enable us to have 18 months runway, grow the team to 10, and also launch into 200 buildings. We're also looking for introductions to property developers and architects. Thank you for your time and feel welcome to contact me via my details attached.
Thank you, Chanel. I think not just for the industry, but it can be great for all of us, right? Now, guess who is bringing smarter decisions with sound intelligence? Welcome, Vocalytics the startup that is streamlining powerful sensor integration, processing data on the edge, and guaranteeing our privacy.
What do all these have in common? You can hear them. Sound is all around us. There are more than 2 billion security cameras, more than 100 million smart speakers, and other connected microphones everywhere. We're living in a time where it's finally possible to listen, analyze, and act upon critical acoustic moments. I'm Van, founder and CEO of Vocalytics, where we turn dumb noise into intelligent sound. Health, safety, and security are increasingly costly, operationally complex, and enterprises are unable to respond timely in critical moments, resulting in high business liability and massive annual revenue loss. With average response times greater than 10 minutes, that can be several hours, more than 100 million man-hours are lost every year responding incorrectly to critical moments. And the economic impact of poor incident response is greater than $1 trillion. The last year has proven current solutions are ineffective and leave the built world vastly underprepared in times of crisis. Unlike traditional point solutions that are cumbersome, expensive, and don't tell the full story, Vocalytics is an AI software that listens to ambient noise, analyzes events and trends, and sends real-time alerts to improve essential business operations, reduce costs, and drive tangible business outcomes. As an example, Vocalytics empowers care facilities to listen for when a patient may have fallen or has irregular breathing, analyze the severity, frequency, and location, and acts by proactively alerting caregivers for critical intervention. Vocalytics improves decision-making in real time to save lives. Health, safety, and security are vital to our way of life. They're becoming more and more difficult to protect daily. Enterprise SaaS, we charge our clients a one-time deployment with an annual subscription per input. Plug and play, Vocalytics works on the edge with any connected microphone, keeping all data safe and secure. We've layered proprietary software cleanup technologies for today's noisy world for the best quality solutions. Now, privacy first. Vocalytics anonymizes all data and never identifies users or words, while only listening for specific sound profiles. Intelligent sensing technologies have broad applications, and as the world becomes more and more connected, there's plenty of room for innovative solutions. Security cameras, smart speakers, traditional sound analytics, and motion sensors today most lack flexibility, simple deployment, on-device intelligence, privacy, and a robust library of sensing capabilities to tell a greater story. Sound as just a sensor is not up to par with Vocalytics. Sound is a solution. With active deployments and early revenue, our pipeline is rich, engaged, and top-tier enterprises. And with the support of Techstars, United Healthcare, Plug and Play, and key venture partners, we're well-positioned and we're just getting started. Our leadership team is made up of experienced entrepreneurs and scaling technology ventures, seasoned AI data scientists, and proven growth experts. And our world-class advisors include an IBM Watson Master Inventor, the head of MIT's Open Voice Network, and the founding Chief Innovation Officer of the VA. In his words, we are revolutionizing care delivery. We are acoustic ambient intelligence. Join our journey in unlocking the power of sound.
Great presentation, Van. Thank you. Now, Remote Optix is operating the construction and real estate markets with high-quality live video collaboration tools that we can imagine how can change the construction inspection and real estate use case. Stan, please tell us more.
Hi, my name is Stan Klebner. I'm the co-founder and COO of Remote Optix. We help companies in the construction and real estate industry win with live data insights. In these markets that we operate, construction is a almost $13 trillion market. And just in the US alone, commercial real estate is roughly just under a $1 trillion market. And I want to convey in this slide that these are just enormous, unfortunately, data inefficient markets. And what does that mean? That means that there are multiple stakeholders, like on any particular construction project, there are multiple stakeholders. You can see them on your left side here. But the problem is there's poor communication amongst them all. There's not a single tool that like takes them all together, gives them real-time data on which it can be actionable for them. And this creates delays, massive inefficiencies, and generally suboptimal productivity. And that's what Remote Optix is solving. What we're doing is taking live streaming apps, creating a collaborative web interface that anyone in the world can access, in addition to a network of who we're calling streamers, which are contractors, to create live visual data from anywhere, literally. And we do that with our tools, which is a web app and purpose-specific apps for mobile phones, and we're working on drones, and then a network of streamers that has reach in every single large city in the US and Canada. With our overview cloud, you get multiple features, but the main thing is live HD streams, and we're working on a number of other tools, including Procore and BIM 360 integrations. Here's just a picture of some of the streams that we want to add in the future. Again, we currently stream with phones and drones, and we're incorporating stationary IP cameras at the moment. The real value in getting live data on a site or on a real estate project or a complete building is you get the entire site view. So you get data instead of tomorrow or the next week, you get it today, which raises awareness, raises productivity, creates a CYA insurance. You don't have to travel to your sites, and that gives you a competitive advantage when you're building, maintaining, or property managing a building. The founding team couldn't be better optimized for this. Dustin has 13 years of civil BIM experience, and I'm a drone pilot who managed did product management at a $35 million webcasting company. So these are some of our customers. These are some of the use cases we'd love to talk to you. It's a very short pitch, and the opportunity is gigantic. So, we have a grand vision for this, and we're currently raising a seed round. And again, my name is Stan. Please contact us via the emails that you see. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Stan. As you just had the privilege to close our first section on smart infrastructure, I'm pleased to introduce our next section that will reveal the best companies in the construction tech space. I will need your attention for a minute before starting by reminding you to vote on your People Choice Award in the best startup, on your opinion. The first startup we bring is touching one of the most complicated topics on our industries, scheduling and planning. Franco is going to tell us how Ipsum is facilitating construction process.
Hi, everyone. My name is Franco Giaquinto, CEO of Ipsum. At Ipsum, we're a team of young people motivated about transforming the construction industry. We've been at it 5 years. We've done projects in more than 12 countries, and we've done more than 700 projects. And we're a company backed by Cemex Ventures and Telefónica Group from Spain. So our mission is pretty much to transform the way that construction projects are scheduling and planning, and just take it to the next level with analytics, insights, automatic reports, and an all-in-one platform to do that. So we're doing this because 98% of the projects today are behind schedule in an average of 10 to 15 months, which is insane. And considering that 100% of the projects need to do this, it's a very big problem that needs to be solved. So companies or organizations like the PMI or like the Construction Industry Institute, they're saying that there's no substitute for proper planning, right? So it's something very important, but the construction industry hasn't changed it in over 20 years. So we built ProPlanner. ProPlanner is a scheduling planning software that makes it easy, fast, it's collaborative, and it integrates all the parts of scheduling planning into one software. So there's three main parts of our value proposition. One is that everything's connected. Your schedule, your midterm planning, your short-term planning, and your analytics. The second one is that it is based on lean construction methodologies. And the third one is that we deliver real-time analytics. So you don't have to change into other platforms or do any Power BI besides it. Everything's going to be into ProPlanner. So we're trying to transform this messy workflow that you see in today's construction projects and these horrible spreadsheets and whiteboards and legacy software into something like this So we have modules for the master plan, so you can build your schedule with everything you need, calendars, resources, baselines, activities, dates, everything. A look ahead module to allow you to build tasks, constraints, connect with the subcontractors, assign resources, different things. So it's very collaborative. And then a third part that everything transforms into analytics. So you're going to have automatic KPIs, indicators, curves that are going to tell you if you're doing better or worse than you expect to be. And you have curves on cost, on productivity, on performance, on progress, a lot of things. So like I said before, we've done hundreds of projects in different countries, and we've done commercial projects, residential, industrial, all types of projects. And now we're opening into the US. So this is how we envision the messy workflow that I showed you before into something more streamlined, building data, standardizing the way the company works, and having analytics for the construction managers, project managers to know exactly what's happening in their projects. And yes, we've seen a lot of improvement in our customers, faster planning, saving days in scheduling. You don't have to have someone 100% of the time just updating schedule of progress. It's a more collaborative solution. It replaces the legacy softwares, the spreadsheets, and the other software that you're using for analytics. So it's an all-in-one for scheduling and planning, and super easy to use, fast, and collaborative. So yeah, anything you need, you can contact me at franco@ipsumapp.co. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Franco. I want to welcome now Gryps to the stage, the startup that is providing construction owners with faster and qualified access to information that will shape decisions during all project life cycles. Darine, please tell us more.
We are Gryps. We are building a connected intelligence platform for the construction industry. I'm Darine, and this is my co-founder, Amir. We both come from a construction background with a combined experience of over 20 years in construction. We worked together for over 5 years and recognized that we could do better than what is currently offered. Construction is 13% of the world's GDP, yet it suffers from disappointing statistics on productivity, sustainability, and digitization. People with big dreams are stuck doing boring tasks because it's an industry that is extremely document-centric. Documents and data are scattered across multiple systems, and information is very hard to find. We worked on large, complex projects in New York City. We understand the challenges firsthand, and we were the ones tasked with innovating and improving processes on these projects. Despite the large investment and budgets, investments in construction tech, 90% of global construction is over budget or delayed. Information and systems are available, but they are siloed and not integrated. What good is all this information that you collect if you can't even use it? We believe that in order to improve the industry, we need two things. We need connectivity across the different systems, and we need good quality data. We address connectivity by automatically and continuously ingesting documents and information from different systems. We create structured data by understanding documents and extracting information through machine learning technology. Then we facilitate the delivery of that information to the right people at the right time. We act as the API layer connecting these different systems, creating the data and its structure, and delivering it to the user. We utilize our own proprietary robotic process automation technology to make this possible, and our own proprietary machine learning algorithms to make this possible. We're starting with the first use case as project closeout. Why? Because 30% of the data is lost during closeout, which is the transfer of information from the construction phase into the operation and maintenance phase. Contractors finish a project and hand over the work to the owner, including millions of pieces of data. And that's a huge opportunity loss for the owner if they cannot collect that data. We've done that and are doing that. At Hudson Yards, which is a $20 billion project, we ingested and provided access to more than 100,000 documents, 2.5 million data points, and provided faster access to information than there ever was before. When we talk about machine learning algorithms, we talk about it in two steps. First, the categorize, which is the ability to identify and classify documents into different industry-specific classifications. And the second piece is extracting information, Once we have the documents and data, we can extract a lot of information out of these documents that owners didn't realize that they had. The industry is ready for change. It is similar to what fintech was 10 years ago. It needs founders who understand it, solutions that accommodate its unique workflows, contractual relationships, and address different stakeholders. With our continuous improvement and wealth of data, we will provide the industry with more intelligent solutions and expand into the procurement and supply chain of the construction vertical. We are currently growing our team and looking for early adopters as well. So if you are a potential joiner to our engineering team or a potential customer as an early adopter, we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Very interesting, Doreen. Thanks for your presentation. Now that BIM technology is popular, VIM is bringing it to real time, empowering teams with unlimited access to BIM data anywhere you go. Let's welcome Joel to the stage.
Hi, this is Joel from VIM, and here to tell you about our experience with Plug and Play and a retail customer that's currently using VIM. The retail customer has problems with no data standards, meaning that they can't get their retail operations back up and running after a construction project very effectively, and they often miss deadlines. As a result, data is the root of the problem, and that's where VIM jumps in. We fix that problem for these retail owners and other real estate professionals. VIM is being used by this specific large multinational owner for a whole bunch of the pieces of the building life cycle. And we are unlocking the next generation of BIM. We actually came from the Revit team that sold to AutoCAD, or sorry, sold to Autodesk. And we are now building out the next generation of what owners in this case need for access to that BIM data that they're paying for. Revit is where BIM data is often authored, whether you're a designer, an engineer, or a construction professional, but it's locked up, it's dry, it's technical, it's behind a walled garden. Vim opens that up with translators to get out of that closed source and into an open format, but with tools, apps, and data-driven insights to give access to people this data that wasn't available before, or if it was, you had to have specialized training. And our owners that are using our software today, again, large multinational corporations, are telling us, hey, this is now breaking down those silos, and I'm getting access and basically saving time and money where I didn't think I would be able to. As a result, real estate teams that are kind of driving the initiative are now showing how Vim is leveraging, is able to be leveraged elsewhere. And in a retail project, merchandising teams are starting to leverage it, whether it's mixed use residential or office towers, operations teams as well. This creates a much more positive cycle. And again, this is like a retrospective because this is what we're being told by our customers today. They're getting their projects done faster and on schedule, which means that they're reopening retail operations sooner. As a result, this creates a level of access that wasn't available before to that rich BIM data that the owners are paying for. They didn't know they needed it. Now they do, but they also didn't know they couldn't access it, and now they can. And most importantly, they can get back to their customers with the best value possible. Thank you very much for your time. This was a great experience with Plug and Play, and I look forward to any future opportunities.
So interesting, Noemi. Thank you so much. Now, I'm curious about robots. What about you? CIVrobotics is bringing unmanned system to construction sites in order to automate land surveying. Please welcome the founder and CEO, Tom.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Shuren, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of CIVrobotics, and it's a pleasure to be here at Plug and Play event. We're automating land surveying services. What is land surveying? What do they do? Surveyors are the guys you see on the side of the road laying out coordinates with tripods and GPS devices. Their main responsibility during construction is to convey the blueprints, what to build in the field for the contractor. I know this because I've been in this space. I was a site engineer manager before starting this venture, and I was astonished how inefficient things are on a job site. That's why my co-founder and I, Liav, founded the company and got great talent in Israel to solve this problem with speed and precision. Did you know that 90% of infrastructure projects are delayed? And the main reasons is labor shortage, mistakes that cause rework, mostly caused by human error, and construction blueprints are just not clear. In all of these reasons, the surveyor is involved. Doesn't have enough people on site, surveyor makes mistakes, you build incorrectly because of that. And if he doesn't understand the blueprint correctly, he's gonna mark it incorrectly, which will lead to more mistakes in the field. We can't have that happen. And that's why we developed CIVDOT, our autonomous surveyor. It's safe, precise, and way faster. Here you can see one of our customers using our robot to mark pile coordinates and have nail guys behind him putting the stakes in the ground. In the next video, you see our CIVDOT two-wheel drive for road markings, drawing the actual road closure. Can't be any simpler than this. We have already more than 10 customers in the US and Asia, and look forward to grow with more customers as COVID restrictions allow us with more travel abroad. We already have some traction and some revenue coming in. In 2020, they were all POCs. In 2021, we already have customers who bought or rented our systems. And we have more customers under NDA that I can't disclose here today. In solar, the benefits are very clear. You can do the same amount of marking with one operator or one crew, reduce the cost dramatically, but more importantly, reduce the amount of reworks because our robot is more precise. Our business model is very straightforward. You can buy or rent our units, and the range depending on the configuration that you need. If you want a two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, if you want to put a Trimble Arctic in it, or you want to get our standard U blocks as well. And our customers love the monthly rental option because you can also buy it out towards the end. It's very similar to a lease model. We're already backed by great investors from US, Japan, and Israel, and look forward to raise our next capital raise towards the end of this year as we reach our milestones for sales of $1 million. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you later, or you can shoot me an email at tom@CIVrobotics.com.
That is a really nice use case. Thank you, Tom. One important part of construction activities is the logistics part. Voyage Control brings us a software solution for managing site logistics, including deliveries, on-site resource, and material inventory tracking. James, tell us how you drastically changed the delays on construction sites.
Hello, my name is James Swanson, and I'd love to tell you about Voyage Control. The focus of our business is to really help to optimize construction supply chain and logistics. The reason we really want to do this is our customers want to be able to use digital tools to make their businesses operate far more efficiently than what they've been doing for the last several decades. In comparison to that, a lot of the construction industry still use whiteboards, spreadsheets, phone calls to manage everything that's going on within their logistics supply chain activities, which means that they are not as efficient or as profitable as they should be. We help our customers to solve their challenges through three brands. The first is Voyage Control, which I set up, which is really focused about managing the supply chain for construction companies and construction projects from the point at which things are delivered to a job site, the whole way back through the supply chain. Recently, we've also acquired two smaller companies, Hoist and Crane Time, which respectively are there to focus on improving wait times for hoists and then maximizing crane utilization. So there's a great toolkit that our customers can use to optimize everything that they need to do. To give you a sense of our scale globally, the platform itself launched in 2013, and we actually support a number of different sectors. Within construction itself, we're getting close to 100 construction companies that we support globally, with over 100,000 businesses, end users on our platform, and over 5 million deliveries have been scheduled by this group of businesses. Many of our customers in the United States are some of the biggest E&R top 100 companies, and many of these names will be familiar to you. And we support a lot of companies globally too, and not just in the United States. The business itself was founded in the United Kingdom, and we have a team there in London, but we also operate in other parts of the world, in the United States, in Canada, Australia, and now Singapore, and soon to be Japan. Ultimately though, what our software platform is a series of digital solutions to help our customers manage their end-to-end needs. For many, it's just about when is the truck going to show up to the front gate of the job site, or how are they going to manage their hoist and cranes. But for some of our more sophisticated customers, the focus then is really about how do we work through material management and compliance reporting. And these are all value propositions that our customers need to be able to support their operations in what is a very dynamic and fast-paced environment.
Can we imagine construction without logistics delay? I want to imagine it. And now I bring another important topic, that is sustainability. Dan is going to tell us how to turn trash into cash. Let's welcome to the stage Plazrok.
Welcome, and thank you for attending. My name is Dan Gaston. I'm the Director of Analysis for Plazrok USA, a division of Winger Manufacturing. And Winger has been at the forefront of extrusion technology and innovation for over 70 years. What if I told you we had figured out a way to turn trash into cash and do something exciting for the environment at the same time? Well, that's precisely what we can do, and I will share with you how it's done. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a new product that is just hitting the global market. It is called Plazrok, and it is a lightweight concrete aggregate made from plastic pulled directly from the waste stream. There are thousands of plausible solutions to the plastic pollution problem overwhelming our planet today. Plazrok has a solution we can implement right now at a scale that's almost infinite. By taking unrecycled plastic from the waste streams and converting it into a material used to make concrete, Plazrok USA is creating revenue opportunities at both ends of the supply chain. Everyone benefits, including the waste management companies that source the plastic, the concrete companies that produce it, and the end users in the construction industry. Plazrok starts with the waste stream, specifically the numbers 1 through 7 commingled plastic, the same way the plastic enters the facility. Through a process of shredding, granulation, and mixing, the products are prepared for the thermomechanical extrusion process that transforms and shapes the waste into Plazrok and sends it to the cooling equipment. The result is an eco-friendly concrete additive that can replace a portion of conventional stone aggregate used in lightweight concrete mixes, reducing its weight and improving the concrete sustainability profile. The target markets and revenue for Plazrok and our precast concrete items, architectural precast, and decorative concrete, as well as many other applications that can benefit from weight reduction or sustainability objectives. The value proposition is simple. Our lightweight concrete additive lowers the end user's cost, improves sustainability profiles, and creates new revenue opportunities for both the waste management entities and turns the waste plastic into a high value product. That is the trash to cash model. To make this model successful, we are putting a lot of focus on partnerships, especially for the first plants, until we establish the model in the market. We currently have a recycling partner, a chemical company that are looking at operating the first US plant. We're seeking a concrete or construction partner to round out that partnership. We also are working with the civil engineering lab at Kansas State University. They're helping us with a myriad of testing, and we'll soon publish some information on Plazrok. We've also done some full-scale commercial tilt-up panel pours and placement with an engineering firm and construction company in Lincoln, Nebraska. Plazrok brings together two environmentally challenging materials, plastic and concrete, and creates a solution that is not only better for the planet, but it's also economically beneficial for the entire supply chain. 27 million tons of plastic goes out the door as trash. We intercept it before it gets to the landfill and give it a new life, a product to help build the future. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Dan. I really like your approach. Now, I'm happy to show how the next startup is bringing sustainability to structural components and high-performance materials. Combining material science with digital fabrication tools, please welcome Andrés, CEO from Strong by Form.
Imagine a future where the structures in your neighborhood, the body of your car, and even boats are made from sustainable, high-performance biocomposites. We're making that future a reality today. Hi, my name is Andrés Mitnick, and I am CEO of Strong by Form. We're a high-tech startup focused on creating technologies that allow us to develop with the environment and not against it. Our first technology, WoodFlow, is capable to produce high-performance, ultralight, timber-based composites strong enough to replace concrete and steel in industries such as construction and mobility. Today, there are no sustainable alternatives for structural components because the triad, sustainability, structural performance, and industrial productivity hasn't been yet solved. With WoodFlow, we have been able to solve this triad. We achieved this through a proprietary process that optimizes by shape, fiber architecture, and density. And it does work. Our 1.8-pound prototype has already resisted 350 times its own weight, or 665 pounds. No other wood-based technology is capable to resist as much per unit of weight. And the market is huge. Construction and transportation consume over 75 billion each in structural materials each year, and they're still using technologies from the 19th and 20th century. They're ready to be disrupted. But what is WoodFlow? WoodFlow combines material science with the latest optimization and digital fabrication tools. Our software takes the stresses that a component will be subject to and optimize it in order to achieve maximum performance with minimum material. These instructions are then fed to an automatic fabrication line that generates the final WoodFlow component. In collaboration with Swiss firm Mower House, we expect a small home office spot to be our first product, just as Tesla did with the Roadster. In parallel, together with German firm Müller-Blaustein, we are developing our first mass market product, the ultralight prefabricated WoodFlow concrete composite slab for mid-rise buildings. While we validate our technology in construction, we will start piloting in mobility to be part of the next generation of urban e-cars. Our lightweight technology will allow these vehicles to reach longer distances on a single charge while also improving their sustainability track. Our business model has several stages. Initially, we will develop and fabricate WoodFlow components. Once we gain traction, we will license the technology to create a distributed manufacturing network. To scale globally, we will develop plugins for design softwares that will allow designers to upload structural requirements to the Strong by Form cloud, which will, in turn, return the WoodFlow design together with all the specifications to tender it to your local WoodFlow provider. We are well aware of the level of ambition, and that's why we have a stellar team. We are 3 experienced co-founders with degrees from the most prestigious universities. Having presented Strong by Form to corporates around the world, it is their interest in WoodFlow what demonstrates the huge market potential of our technology. Today, we have the opportunity to impact the lives of millions by building a more sustainable world. To that end, we're raising a seed round that will allow us to bring to market the home office spot, validate WoodFlow for construction at large, and move forward with our disruptive technology roadmap. Being backed by corporates and extremely high net worth individuals, we strongly believe we're in a unique position to start changing the world today with WoodFlow. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrés. That is really nice. And now I have to confess that I had to Google the first time that I heard about quantum dots. And you must be proud to hear it directly from Hunter on how UbiQD is revolutionizing windows with solar cells, bringing innovation in the form of a special advanced material for a new era of building integrated photovoltaics. Please welcome UbiQD.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hunter McDaniel. I'm the founder and CEO of UbiQD. We're an advanced materials company powering product innovation in clean energy, agriculture, and security. At UbiQD, we fundamentally believe that advanced materials underpin every major technology innovation in the history of mankind, and nanomaterials are going to be a great example of that. Together, we're passionate about deploying advanced materials to have an impact. You can see the executive team here on this slide. In total, we've got 24 full-time employees, a handful of PhDs and MBAs, 36 patents in the portfolio. We've raised about $10 million of outside capital, and we've got more than $1 billion of combined exits on the team. So those advanced materials that we're deploying to have the impact I mentioned are called quantum dots. If you're not familiar with those, they're tiny bits of material that are very effective at manipulating color and light through a process called fluorescence. And at UbiQD, we've developed a safer, cheaper, more stable version of quantum dots. Ultimately, this technology came out of MIT and Los Alamos National Laboratory, where we have licenses. The big problem we're aiming to solve is around climate change and the correlation between the rising global temperatures and CO2 in the atmosphere. But more specifically, if you'd like to deploy renewable energy into an urban center, there's really nowhere else to put it besides down the facades of the buildings, simply because the rooftops are highly valuable spaces, the sidewalks and parks are not good spaces for solar. And it's unfortunate because the price of electricity is high in those cities, but the space available is the least for solar. Fortunately, glass is ubiquitous, so if we can only turn those windows into electrical generators, then the buildings would become not just loads on the grid, but assets for the grid. If you are going to deploy a building integrated solution, you've got to realize that commercial real estate developers and architects are not going to compromise on the aesthetics. So you need really a perfect solution. Otherwise, it just simply won't see the traction. And that's what we're aiming to achieve. We tint glass with quantum dots, and they fluoresce when the sun hits them. That fluorescence can get guided to the edges of the glass by total internal reflection, and thereby we create a luminescent solar concentrator. Around the edge of that glass, you can put small solar cells that convert the luminescence into electricity, and then it starts to look like any other solar module. This is just a step in our product roadmap, as you can see here, that we've been working on it over a number of years. We've been focusing on the greenhouse industry with our UbiGrow product. That's live today. It's a film-based product, but we've been moving towards glass and moving towards commercial building windows as a much bigger market opportunity and potential to have an impact. Together, between glass and film, we can address a myriad of different market opportunities, even beyond windows. So this laminated glass approach is also known as safety glass. We just put the quantum dots into an inner layer between two sheets of glass, and that creates the waveguide. Then we attach solar cells around the perimeter of that glass to generate the electrical output. That single pane can then be completed into a double pane window, just like any other pane of glass could be implemented into a window. And here are a few pictures of what those prototypes look like. If you didn't see the wire coming out the corner, you wouldn't think anything epic was going on here because they look just like any other window. We're deploying up to about a square meter now in commercial buildings, including recently in a Holiday Inn. And we see this as the dawn of the age of the solar window, beginning of a new era for building integrated photovoltaics. Media has been taking notice. We've been featured in publications like Bloomberg, Crunchbase, Fast Company, Forbes. We had a story go viral on Reddit recently. So that's it. Join us in realizing our vision of powering cities of the future with the glass on skyscrapers. We're seeking partners, new employees, focusing on pilots, and launching our minimum viable window product by the end of the year. Series B in early next year. Thank you.
Great solution, Hunter, and thank you so much for closing our today pitch session. Please remember to vote on your favorite pitch and solution. We are sharing the People's Choice Award at our Smart Cities and Real Estate and Construction LinkedIn pages later this week. Now, for the whole Smart Cities team, I would like to thank all the great founders and projects we bring for this special Real Estate and Construction Summer Summit. I am always inspired on how important it is to us to be part of this special moment at Entrepreneur Lives, watching closely the first steps of the business that are changing the present and will shape the future. A special thanks for the founders and startup members that are working hard to solve the most critical industry problems. It is a pleasure to be here in this moment with you, and us from Plug and Play are proud of all the progress you're doing. Another special thank for this time spent telling us more about your solutions, and thanks to the audience as well that is here today with us, helping to shape and spread the fresh innovations in real estate and construction space. We cannot forget about our corporate partners working alongside with us to unlock the use of innovation in real life applications, and of course with the startups as well. A big shout out is needed to the operations team. Thank you so much that make this event can be true, and all my colleagues at Plug and Play that make this Summer Summit unforgettable. Please watch tomorrow that we have the Energy Expo and the 23rd with the mobility startups. Now for the best part, let's meet at our networking session. Feel free to reach out to the startups you might have questions for, and on my end, I will meet you on the virtual booths. Enjoy!
How do you track your team's innovation efforts? However that is, we've got an easier way. Let us introduce Playbook. Playbook is Plug and Play's innovation software. It is an exclusive tool only available for our ecosystem's corporate partners. With it, you and your team will be able to browse your curated startups database, create, discover, and rate lists of startups, track your engagement, pilots, and investments, analyze data from the tech ecosystem, organize private sessions with select startups, and so much more. Hundreds of corporations count on Playbook to empower their innovation journey. Get in touch to start using Playbook today.